Let's start. Yeah. Good evening, friends.
Evening, brother.
And welcome to our new online interfaith dialogue series. It is a joint venture between SISR and Vincent's College of Commerce. The talks will be mostly on Thursdays from 6 to 7:30 p.m. As we have repeatedly announced, the purpose of our sessions is to know and appreciate the richness in every religious tradition. Our topic for this year is to be religious today is to be interreligious. Every religion begins within a certain culture, interacts with it, taking on some of its values, even as it transforms it. As the culture spreads, so does the religion. Having grown in a specific culture, this religion now vies with other religions for prominence. In the process, the dominant religion tries to absorb what is compatible from the other religions while suppressing them to some extent. Today, we live in a multicultural world in which we are more aware of the limitations of each culture and correspondingly that of each religion. We realize that each culture and religion has a contribution to make to the cultural heritage of all mankind. Hence, we need to be open to learning from each culture and religion so as to enrich ourselves, even as we are rooted in our own tradition. This also makes it possible for us to purify our own culture and religion so that it is better able to respond to the challenges of today. Ultimately, the purpose of every religion is to make us better human beings. Both Mahatma Gandhi ji and Swami Vivekananda are towering examples of this. Our speaker for this evening is Dr. Shamsuddin Tamboli, who will present the Muslim viewpoint on our topic for this evening. I now request Gilby sir to introduce Dr. Tamboli.
Good evening, one and all present here. I'm happy to introduce Dr. Shamsuddin Tamboli, who has taken a number of responsibilities during his life's journey, finally retiring as a Vice Principal of Maratha Mitramandal College of Commerce, Deccan Gymkhana, Pune. He is also deeply involved in the progress of Muslim community through the Muslim Satya Shodhak Mandal, its newspaper, and the Progressive Muslim Forum. In spite of challenges of Muslim community faces today, Dr. Tamboli is a nationalist and concerned about unity and well-being of the country. He is the convener of Rashtriya Ekmat Samadhi and the secretary of SM Joshi Shikshan and Arogya Nidhi. He has participated in national TV channels and written spoken on various issues regarding education, human rights issues, and issues of Muslim community and the UCC, career guidance to students, legal aid, etc. He is also involved with many secular organizations and has been a member of World Peace and Friendship Mission. Sir, we are truly privileged to have a rich personality like you to present the Muslim viewpoint on our topic today. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Should we start?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for introductory speech by Father, and very nice in short introductions given by Professor. I indeed is very much I appreciate efforts of Sneha Sadan and Institute for the Study of Religion. At the same time, St. Vincent College of Commerce is also associated with this study center and in organizing today's event. As a professor has mentioned about me that I am involved in several social activities as well as the activist of Muslim Satyashodak Mandal. A Muslim Satyashodak is working among the community for their progress, for the bringing reformist ideas, as well as to accept modern values which our constitution has mentioned in the preamble and throughout the constitution. The first thing I would like to say that I am a secular, a progressive, a reformist activist. And you all know that almost all religions are an ancient religion, and we are living in the modern age. But we cannot neglect the fact that our community is a religious community, and particularly in these days, a different type of misunderstanding, misinterpretation, misrepresentation of religion is going on. So I would like to begin with the statement of humanist thinker, that is Dr. M. Roy. M. Roy used to say that Muslims are the most ignorant about the ideas of Islam. And you know about what Bertrand Russell said. Bertrand Russell said, Islam is the best religion and Muslims are the worst followers. But apart from this, so what is the best and why are our people not proper follower of that ideology? That also we have to consider. But these days, when we particularly talk about Indian society, our society is basically pluralistic society, and diversity is its very important feature. And still, we have Ganga Jamuna Tahzeeb also. And a lot of efforts have been made in our community for peaceful coexistence, mutual respect. And as we are part of pluralistic society, it is our duty to respect, to accept the people of different faith. So in a way, Sneha Sadan and our college has taken a very good initiative and making this interfaith dialogue. And the very key sentence that is used for this program is, to be religious today is to be inter-religious. This statement itself is pregnant with meaning. It has a lot of potentialities, and to be religious is to be inter-religious. Becoming inter-religious itself means a mutual respect, mutual understanding, acceptance of good ideas, acceptance of good thoughts, traditions, cultures, and making a human life more happy, purposeful, and welfare, based on welfare philosophy. Now, in the beginning of my speech, I would like to express my best wishes for all the people, those who are celebrating Sri Krishna Jalmashtami. So today, in India and particularly in Maharashtra also, Sri Krishna Jalmashtami, this festival, Dahi Andi and other, this is going on. And one more thing I would like to mention in the beginning, you might have heard the name of Maulana Hasrat Mohani. Maulana Hasrat Mohani was a journalist. He was poet. He was also the member of Constitution Assembly also. And he was a great admirer. Actually, he born in Mathura only. And he was a great admirer of Sri Krishna. And he has written a lot on Lord Sri Krishna, Maulana Hasrat Mohani. He is also famous in India for his slogan, and that is Inqilab Jindabad. This slogan was used during our freedom struggle, and the same struggle was adopted by revolutionary young activist, freedom fighter, that is Bhagat Singh also. Inqilab Jindabad. And so this is the man who was admirer of Sri Krishna. Also, he was Maulana also, religious scholar also. This incident or this one more example itself shows that there are potentialities, there are principles, there are a different kind of references, examples of interfaith dialogue, of showing respect to people of different culture also. This is one thing. Now, when I am talking with the reference of Islam, and that too for in the session of interfaith dialogue. Second thing, as I mentioned earlier, that is to be religious is to be interreligious today. Now, with this background, we are today concentrating on Islam. For me, a technical definition of Islam is surrendering to the will of God. Surrendering to the will of God. This is one meaning of Islam. And that is why surrendering to the will of God, and in the same time, the Rasul, that is prophet, that is Muhammad Paigambar. And that is why La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. But there is only one God, and that is Allah. Only one God, monolithic. And second thing, prophet is Rasul, the messenger. He has given the paigam. So very core of this is believing in God and believing in prophet. Now Islam, another meaning is derived from Salem. The word means peace. So sometimes Islam is correlated, is associated with peace, that is Aman. So considering this, when we read the earlier part of Quran, that is Al-Fatiha, the beginning, what is mentioned there, God lead us to right path, take us to the right path. So what is right path? That path is also mentioned in Quran. Now another thing, when prophet prays or mention about God, he called Allah as Rabbil Alameen. Rabbil means protector. Rabbil means those who provider. And he is a provider, he is a protector of Alamin. Alamins of the entire universe, the entire earth. He is not the Rabbil Muslimin, not the only the protector of Muslims. He is not only the provider, caretaker, compassionate about Muslim, but of the entire world that is living and non-living things also. So this itself shows the universal approach of Islam. But once again, I would like to mention, being Satyashodak, the word of Allah is different from the word of Mullah. What Mullah says may not be the language of Allah. That is what means Mullah ki zuban, ye Allah ki zuban nahi ho sakti. So why I am not criticizing anything, but because as there are many views, many opinions, a different type of approaches towards Islam, traditional approach is there, liberal approach is there, different type of interpretations are there. But in today's world, we have to think about how Islam will fit in the present situation, in the present condition. What terrorist organizations like Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, Taliban are talking about Islam, their theory and interpretation of Islam is not the theory or the reality of Islam. That is so Islam, if you want to understand Islam in India, you can understand it. The philosophy of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, Muhammad Iqbal, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, or Dr. Asghar Ali Engineer. And this is the tradition, or Justice Professor Asif A. Faizi and Professor Mujib. So these are the people, they have tried to highlight the essential, very important, the core, modern, liberal, humanistic approach and interpretation of Islam. So another thing I would like to mention here, to just in the introductory section, Father has rightly mentioned about Swami Vivekananda and Mahatma Gandhi. Along with this, even Vinoba Bhave and Sane Guruji and people like personalities, the activists, the scholars like these, Vivekananda, Mahatma Gandhi, Sane Guruji, Vinoba Bhave have written a lot of literature on Islam. And it is available in Marathi also. So I came to know about Islamic culture, Islamic ideology by reading the books of Mahatma Gandhi, the book of Sane Guruji, the book of Vinoba Bhave. He has written Quran Sar also. So you see, if you want to try to understand what is Islam, we have to read these books. Second thing, there is some noise.
What time I said? Just few minutes.
The admin can mute some of the
Just
members. who is
maybe
not
for
present.
10 minutes or maybe.
Did you tell already, Yusuf, not to?
Elizabeth,
Someone is to put on mute. Someone is unmute and
In
talking.
front of you, I will.
Yes, and then he did not answer
Elizabeth D'Souza.
because
Should I?
sister take one
Some
more
other noise is there. I am getting disturbed, and I'm thinking that some questions, doubts are there like
From
that.
where?
And we have reserved a
From
few minutes
From where?
of the session for
From
question
where is it?
answers also.
I don't know. Our insurance of the university. You can also
Elizabeth D'Souza's mic is on. Elizabeth D'Souza's mic is on. Let her put on mute.
Blocker.
Thank you very much. So, one more approach I would like to mention, that the customs, rituals, traditions, and such type of things which are existing in the community, that doesn't mean that is Islam. Islam is very much different from culture, customs, rituals, and traditions. Because these cultures, rituals, traditions are influenced by local people, and they are very much different in different countries as per their geographical conditions, as their previous condition, as per the nature. So we should not mingle customs, traditions, rituals with the spirit of religion, the spirit of Islam. So Islam is entirely different, and I make two parts of religion, of any religion. One is adat, and second is ibadat. Ibadat means having faith. Ibadat means having devotion. Ibadat, our relation with God. Ibadat means it is related with spirituality also. And second thing is adat. Adat means our behavior in the worldly affairs, our customs, our laws, our behavior, our interactions. This is related with adat. And Prophet has said adat and ibadat, these are two different things. Ibadat is a core of religion, that is eternal, that is universal, and adat is temporary, incidental, and it is related with earthly life. So we can change our adat as per situation, as per our need, and we need not be very rigid regarding our adat, our daily behavior. This is what very important teaching of Islam. What is permanent, what is universal, unchangeable, uneternal, or unalterable, that is ibadat. And what can be changed, what can be altered, what we can adopt time to time as per the suitability of our purpose, that is adat. And here Prophet himself has said that when I say something about religion, ibadat, you accept it. And when I say something about worldly affairs, that is adat, then I am no more than a man. You see, this is very important. When I say something about religion, then accept it. And when I say something about worldly affairs or day-to-day life, then I am no more than man, means accept me as a human being. And I too have some limitations, that the place where I born has also limitations. Their culture, their situation also has limitations. So Islam, when Islam goes in different countries, you have to see local culture, local place, their environment, that situation, their people, and then you should adopt that. So Islam is in that way very flexible. Another thing, because this is what very important when people say that Muslims are very rigid, they are polytheist, Granthanista, Quranista, Allahnista. When we say something like this is not a fact. So there are, I will come and explain some more things also. For me, as there are many religions, for each religion, there are three elements, essential part of religion. One is spirituality. Christianity has its own spirituality, spiritual preaching. Hinduism has spiritual preaching. Buddhism has spiritual ideologies. They're preaching. So spirituality, that is something different from worldly affairs. And this is our association with God, with different, so say, when person becomes spiritual, a process of self-purification also takes place. This is different, and which gives us inner satisfaction. It gives us purpose for our life. And there is no question that spirituality of all religions makes human life happy, purposeful, and humanistic also. This is spirituality is one part, one essential element of each and every religion. The second thing is of morality. So when we say the morality means social ethics, the code of conduct, interactions, that we should be very human, we should be helpful, we should be honest, we should not cheat others, we should not become violent, we should control our anger, and we should not steal other people's, we should not exploit others, we should not do injustice to others. We all are brothers. So love thy neighbor as thyself, that Christianity has said. So this is what morality is. So Islam also has a moral principles. Morality is also a part of Islam. For example, if there is a laborer, worker, pay his wages before his sweats get wet, dry. उसका पसीना जाने के पहले उसका जो मुबदला है वो देना चाहिए. Then before you sleep, before you eat your food, before you take your dinner, go and search 10 houses to your left hand and 10 houses to your right hand, and you confirm that no one is sleeping without food, and then only you should take your food. This is a morality. So moral behavior, ethical behavior, moral principles are preached in each and every religion. So Islam also has a morality. So as I told you, morality is one thing, spirituality is another thing, and the third essential part of all religions is its identity. For example, for Christian there is church, for Muslim there is mosque, masjid. So for Buddhist people there is viharas, agari is there. For Sikh brothers there is gurudwara is there. So religious temples are there, religious places are there. Second thing, the ways of worship, different ways of worship, that is also identity. Sometimes eating habits, the dress code, that is also identity. Sometimes language is also identity of some people. So identity is another part. Unfortunately, in the present days, what is happening, the religious people, or I will call rather so-called religious people, are forgetting about spirituality, they are forgetting about morality, and they are thinking that identity is our religion. And that is why there is identity crisis is taking place. Now see, in India also, changing the names of the towns, changing the names of the gardens, changing all this. This is identity crisis. And that is why identity is not an essential part of religion. What is more essential part of religion is spirituality and morality. One more thing I would like to mention here regarding Islam, and that is, what is Islam? How Islam mindset can be understood. If you want to understand Islam, you have to understand Quran. You have to understand Hadith. Hadith means the thoughts, actions, behavior, judgment of Prophet Muhammad, his biography also. That is Hadith. The third thing, you see, these two things, apart from this Quran and Hadith, the third one is fiqh, that is legal jurisprudence, Sharia, that is also part of Islam. Fourth thing, fiqh. Different fatwas are there, interpretations are there, laws are there, customs are there, that is fiqh. Fatwas are also there. And in different Islamic countries, what type of judgments are there, behaviors are there, rules are there, regulations are there. When we consider all these together, then we can understand what is Islam. Another important thing, you see, I will give you one example of Prophet. How universal and it is applicable in present age is also. Once Prophet appointed a man who was going to become a governor, administrator of Yemen. And at that time, Prophet asked this governor, Muad, his name is Muad. He asked him, suppose you are going to Yemen, and if there is complication, you are in dilemma, how to deliver judgment, how to solve the problem, how will you solve this problem? And Muad said, I will try to solve this problem in the light of Quran. I will try to find out answer in Quran. But Prophet said, suppose if you don't get answer in Quran, then what will you do? That means Prophet himself was aware. Prophet himself was telling that you may not get answer of all your questions in Quran. Then what will you do? Then Muad said, that governor said, the administrator said, then I will try to find out answer in Hadith, in your life, in your ideas, in your actions, your behavior, how you solve these problems. And I will take inspiration, references from Hadith. And the Prophet said, suppose if you don't get reference, answer, solution from my life, then what will you do? Then Muad said, then I will appoint a committee of the experts, of the senior, of the experienced people, and I will ask this committee, the members, to solve, I have to solve this problem and give your opinion. And after the consideration, after taking all these references together, after making interpretations, whatever opinion, advice is given by that committee, that I will accept. And this process in Islam is called as istihad. So process of istihad. Then again Prophet told him that suppose if you are not happy, suppose if you are not satisfied with the opinion of these experts and the community of their opinion and advice, if you are not happy or satisfied with istihad, then what will you do? And then Muad said, then I will try to use my conscience, Vivek. I will try to use my reasoning power. I will try to use my logic. And then, considering the situation and the core humanity and all these things, then I will take my own judgment, my own decision. That is called as qiyas. Qiyas. Then Prophet said, yes, I want this answer. That means Islam has these four important things. One, Quran, Hadith, Istihad, and Qiyas. But you know, and this Istihad and Qiyas are more important than Quran and Hadith. Because in Istihad, there is democracy, opinion, experts. And in Qiyas, our conscience, our logic, our reasoning. So, you see, Quran and Hadith, it may give you some kind of reference, inspiration, guidelines, guidance. But the situation goes on changing. And so you have to use these two important things, Istihad and Qiyas. But these days, in Muslims, among the Muslims, they give more importance to Quran and Hadith, and they don't think about Istihad and Qiyas, and so the problems are becoming more and more complicated. What has happened? In 13th century, there was a big conference of Mullahs and Maulavis and these priests, Maulanas, scholars, and they thought that if we allow Istihad and Qiyas in the community, then there will be anarchy. There will be no control. And that is why we have to stop this. And they declared that the doors of Istihad and Qiyas are closed. When the doors of Istihad and Qiyas are closed, then the deterioration has started and progress has stopped. And that is why, you know, Dr. Muhammad Iqbal, in his Reconstruction of Islam, he has written a book, his thoughts on Reconstruction of Islam. In that book, he has stressed, he has focused, he has highlighted the importance of Istihad and Qiyas. So to make our community progressive, to make our community as per our time, these two processes are the gift to the Muslims. And the same thing, it is not applicable to the Muslims only. The same thing can be applied in different communities also. Because in fiqh, you see, fiqh, it is said that, as you know, in Islam, there are different interpretations. In India only, in all over the world, Shia and Sunnis are there. Among the Sunnis, there are another four schools are there. Hanfi, Hanbali, Shafi, and Maliki. In India, Deobandi and Barelvi is also there. What is the difference between their ideologies that we can see later on? But what is said So if there are problems in Hanfi community, and if you get reference, good example, which you can implement in Hanbali community or Shafi or Malki, then you should adopt that. If you have problem in India, and if you get answer of Indonesia, then you should accept that. So this type of acceptance of good thoughts from different sources is allowed, and that process itself gives us scope for making ourselves bigger. We can enrich ourselves, we can develop ourselves, and this process is very much essential for making a community, the entire society, up to the mark, to the proper, because you see what Narhar Kurundkar, another scholar, I will give reference to him. He was a scholar, he read the scriptures, the text, religious books of different religions. And what he said, there is one fact, he said, there is one fact that the foundation of all religions, the intentions of the founders of all religions, the scriptures also, they preach us the principle of humanity. The humanity is the foundation of religion. This is one fact, one truth, one reality. But he said another reality is almost all religions are of 100 and 1,500 years before. More than 1,000 years before, almost all religions. This is the second fact. Now, whatever is mentioned in religious books, that is mentioned of 1,000 years before, 1,500 years before, 2,000 years before, and 3,000 years before, as per that situation, for the welfare of that community, by considering that socio-cultural, religious conditions. So, whatever is mentioned in the books is old and ancient.
Hello?
There can be two parts. One permanent and another one temporary. And the third thing, so he said that one first thing is the foundation of religion is humanity. The second thing, all religions are of more than 1,000 years back. So there can be limitations of all religions. That is the second fact. And the third thing he said, that how can we live in a peaceful coexistence manner? How can we develop mutual respect to multicultural society, multi-religious society? And he said that Muslims should read and understand the universal human values of Christianity, and they should read Islam, Quran, to make the criticism for making it to understand the limitation of our religion. In a similar fashion, the Buddhists, they should read Islam to understand the universal principle of Islam, humanistic principle of Islam, positive things of Islam, and Buddhists, they should criticize their own religion to understand the limitation of their own religion. So we should appreciate others' religion and we should criticize our own religion. So if this type of process starts, then this type of mutual understanding, mutual respect, peaceful coexistence, appreciations will take place, and it will benefit the entire humanity, the society. But unfortunately, these days, what we do, we appreciate our own religion and we criticize others' religion. And always there is superiority, inferiority, this type of complex. So that is why very core of religion, when if it is humanity, universality, then we have to find out these core elements and we have to apply. So most of the religions, they are not made for one community, but for the entire humanity. So understanding them, criticizing them, accepting them, making them update, living outdated, accepting the current things. So this type of process is very much essential in all religion, and I think that type of scope is there in Islam also. So there are so many good principles in Islam which other religious people also can accept. And for example, what is said in Islam, lakum dinekum walle din, that is in Arabic language. Lakum dinekum walle din. Lakum dinekum walle din means what? Lakum dinekum walle din means your religion is with you, my religion is with me, means my relation with God, your relation with God. Let your religion be your religion, my religion my religion, and la fikre din means there should not be compulsion of religion. There should not be any kind of compulsion. Even you should not make compulsion to your son, your children also to accept this particular religion. It should be voluntarily. It should come out of from your inner voice. No compulsion. So if you consider this, then whatever we talk nowadays of conversions and all these things, misunderstanding. So this is against the spirit of religion. But Indian Constitution has given you right that after the age of 18, you should study all religion. And if you like, if you think that this religion is better than this religion, then there is a freedom of choice. You can select, you can become the member of that particular religion. So this process should be available in all type of constitution has given. But these days, you see, we are observing that what type of fanaticism is coming up, and there is a kind of deliberate efforts are there. Ghar wapasi experiments are taking place. Minority people are getting targeted. So actually, Indian Constitution, the freedom of religion has given to profess, to practice, to propagate our religion, but without temptations, without pressurizing other. This is also part of religion. And that is why what I think that there are potentialities in each and every religion for making ourselves a better human being, and that is what we should accept. I think these are the things which I like to mention. One more thing I would like to say, there are many misconceptions. For example, when we think about Islam, when we read Islam, we don't try to understand the context, the intentions. For example, these days, jihad, this word has become notorious. But people don't know that what is the true meaning of jihad. Actually, there are two types of jihad. One is jihad al-akbar, that is superior jihad, and another is jihad al-asgar, that is secondary, inferior jihad. Now see, jihad means what? Making all your efforts, using your physical, intellectual, financial, or time and everything to achieve your target. Even it is said, laughing in tough time is also jihad. Laughing during your sad time, laughing in your tough time is also jihad. Now, jihad al-akbar means, what is there? Jihad al-akbar means peaceful jihad. Jihad al-akbar means jihad of non-violence. And jihad al-akbar means what? It is for the self-purification. This is the war against yourself. We call as shadow repose are there. So this first jihad, which is given prominence, which is very important, which is called as superior jihad. And this is jihad, as I told you, peaceful, non-violent, and for self-purification. And second type of jihad is jihad al-asgar, secondary, in which, if need, you may have to take sword in your hand, and that too for 3-4 reasons. One, if anything is coming as an obstacle in your process of getting associated with Allah, if anything is coming as an obstacle, if there is injustice, and if you have to fight against injustice, then for self, that is jihad. For self-defense, if for self-defense, if there is a need of taking sword, or if you want to become violence, using violence, then also it is jihad. Now see, this is given secondary trait, value, importance. In Quran, maximum times, jihad al-akbar, the superior, the important, self-purification, becoming more humanistic, that jihad al-akbar. But nowadays, all these jihadi groups, and here in India, we are hearing of love jihad, land jihad, administrative jihad. So this is what something is very funny. Another thing, the same way, the word like kafir, kufr, kafir. What was the original? You know that Islam is monolithic, believing in one God. And at the time of Prophet, there were more than 360 idols, murti, idol worship was there. And during this time, some exploitations were going on. So Prophet said that other such idol worship and these things is not good. He appealed to the people that believe in one God, in one humanity, and his followers were destroying these idols at that time. But some people, what they were doing, they were hiding their previous idols, and they were trying to live with their previous ideas, idol worship, etc. So for such people, kafir, kufr is called. The original meaning of kafir is hiding the truth, to hide the truth. Those who hide the truth is kufr, kafir. But these days, you see, there are different meanings and interpretation of this word, kafir, which is not true. Even fatwa, this word is also, fatwa means people think this is something religious order. Actually, fatwa is not religious order. If a man and community or group of people, if they want any advice regarding religion, then what they do, they ask these Maulavis, ulemas, or the person who is religious scholar, this is my problem, I want to solve this problem, please give me your opinion. So fatwas are nothing but advice, whether to accept it or to leave it, neglect it, it is in the hand of that concerned person. But these days, these words like jihad, kafir, fatwa, and in a similar way, Darul Aman and Darul Harb and Darul Islam. So what I think these days, what I saw, that some people, yes.
Dr. Tamboli,
Yeah, I'll conclude.
we need a little time for clarification and questioning.
Yeah.
You can wind up.
What that is what this culture, how they came into existence, what were their religion. So these things. So I think that if you criticize, if you take the relevant part of Islam and if you preach it, then this should be definitely develop interfaith dialogue, and this type of flexibility of acceptance of different principles will, that means to be religious is to be in interreligious in present time. Thank you very much. Now you may ask some questions.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening from the point of view of Islamic view of to be religious, to be interreligious. You have pointed out various aspects of Islamic culture, tradition, and teachings with regard to how you can adopt and integrate the culture and tradition and to become one with the entire community. Now, the floor is open for questions, clarifications, comments, or views about it on that same topic. You can put up the hands and yeah, you can unmute you by yourself.
Can I come in?
Yes, Father.
Yeah. Dr. Tamboli, I would like to congratulate you for your wonderful presentation on the perspective of Islam as far as religion and interreligious dialogue. You brought in a number of points clarifying your stance. Thank you very much. I was very much moved when you talk about Maulana Hazrat and his love for Shri Krishna in the context of Inqilab Zindabad, and you brought in the aspect of Krishna in the Dayandi. I like that very much. Thank you. The second thing and what I liked very much was you spoke about every religion should speak about their limitations. I like that idea about speaking about our limitations, speaking criticism about your religion, etc. And I was very happy that you spoke two elements of fatwa and jihad, what it really means and how it is interpreted in the society today. Very much. I have a suggestion for the organizers, especially actually, not only for you. I feel as the speakers are speaking, whoever they are, we should definitely, as far as the speakers should speak about their religion for about 10-15 minutes. And I feel we should speak a little bit about the goodness or the good values about other religions. Now that will clarify. Supposing a Hindu person is speaking about jihad, what he understands, then there could be a real dialogue. Instead of focusing about our, because everybody knows what is Islam, and what you spoke about, there is very little clarification that I need to ask. But I think when we speak about the speakers, whoever they are in future, if they speak about other religions, how they understand, then the interreligious thing can go on very well. Because today what is happening is the jihad is interpreted differently. And therefore I feel if these misunderstandings from other religions, how you understand them, that will bring in a lot of clarity and real dialogue can begin. This is My suggestion.
That's true. I do agree with it. That is what I said. We should criticize our own religion and appreciate others' religion. So, what are the things of appreciation of different religions should be narrated by a person who is not a follower of that particular religion.
Exactly. So I would have been happy supposing you bring in 3 principles
Yeah.
of Christianity, 3 principles of Hinduism, 3 of Sikhism, which is very much connected to Islam. That would have appealed much more to the Hindus than only about
Yes.
Islam. It was also very good, by the way.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you,
Anyone
Father
else?
Robert. Anybody else?
Doctor, this is Punya Kumar.
Punya Kumar. Speak Punya.
Yes, sir.
I have only one thing. How thin line is there between spirituality and morality, and how it is seen by us who are not Islamists or Muslims in the Muslim world?
I hope the question is clear.
Question is not clear.
I'll repeat, Doctor. How thin is the line between spirituality and morality, which is seen in Muslims by an outsider like me?
Give an example.
Hello, there was a call. Please, sir, sorry for my inability to listen it properly.
Should
sir,
I
can
say
you-
again?
Yeah, please.
Okay. How thin is the line between spirituality and morality seen in Muslims by an outsider who is not a Muslim?
Okay.
Give an example.
For example, you see, when I was talking about spirituality, to achieve that type of spirituality means in different religion. For example, for Hindus, there is moksha, concept of moksha is there. In Christianity, of the day of judgment is also there. In a similar fashion, Jannat and other this type of Qayamat and other these things are also there. And as I told you, ibadat, the faith. And there are 5 pillars of Islam. For example, faith in Allah and the Prophet. Second, performing namaz for showing your association with God, performance of namaz. Then roza, that is fasting. During the month of Ramazan, you should have fasting, and during this fast, maximum charity you should do. And during this month, you should make a process of purification also. The third thing, during this month, you will understand the value of food, the problem of hunger, etc. And you will understand the pains and suffering. You will become more and more sensitive towards other people. The third thing, giving zakat. Zakat means alms, giving in charity. The 2.5% of your income should be used for socially useful purposes, or you should donate it. And the last one, that is Hajj pilgrimage, going to Hajj. And there are again conditions for that. When you go to Hajj, then whatever expenses will be there, they should be self-earned money. There should not be loan, there should not be responsibilities, etc. So these 5 pillars of Islam, some of them, there are compulsions are there, some are obligations are there, some are recommendations are there. And here you see, becoming true to yourself, making yourself more gentleman, more human, and trying to understand the purposeful life that we are living. that is a matter of spirituality. And morality, for example, as I told you, that there are some moral principles in each and every religion. The morality, the ethics, we should not cheat other, we should not exploit other, we should not do injustice to other, and many examples are there. So these two things, one is related with personal life, that is spirituality, and morality is associated with your social life. So these two things will make you a better human being. And I told you regarding that there was a time that for identity purpose, your culture, your traditions, way of worship, your language, your dress code, all these things were just to identify that you are the person of particular community, a particular religion. So these three things, and what I said, that these days more emphasis is given on identity rather than spirituality and morality. So you will find different type of references regarding this.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Sir, I would like to ask a question
Hmm.
regarding this hijab. Nowadays, young girls we see who come to the school, nowadays primary class girls, and I get surprised and they say, no, our parents are forcing us to put hijab and come to school, and then they have to come and remove that, you know. So I just wanted to know what is your stand about this?
When in India, no, actually we support the women's freedom, women's liberalization, and we think that wearing hijab is of individual's choice. There should not be compulsion on that, and not compulsion from within the community, and not using hijab from outside also. So this is a question of reform, I think. Now I would like to mention that wearing hijab is not Islamic, it's not Quranic principle, it is a part of culture, Arabic culture. 2-3 reasons were there. One, that geographical condition, you know, the desert was there, dust was there, and for your self-protection, even male, that we see their dress code, that type of code was used. Dress code was used. Now hijab, I think, is a symbol of main domination, Purusha Sattak Paddhat. Now previously what was happening, the people, these Muslims are also divided in 3 categories: Ashraf, Ajlaf, and Arzal community. Ashraf means people of higher category, Ucha. Ajlaf means middle class people, and Arzal means downtrodden people. So previously hijab was used, that but this type, but these days we see well known black burqa, that hijab was used by prestigious people, that my wife should not be seen by others. That was the prestige for them. Now Ajlaf community also, my wife is also important for me, and I am also prestigious man, so he started using hijab, compelling hijab. Now actually in Quran, the way burqa is used these days is not mentioned. So in Quran, what is said, that there should be decent dress, decency was given more important, and at homes, no, the curtain was used. So for men also, there should be a kind of hijab in your eyes also. But these days you say that this whatever allegations has become the burqa, or this hijab has become a symbol of Muslim community, but this is not essential part of religion. For example, you know the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Benazir Bhutto, she was not wearing hijab as such. The Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, also was not using hijab. Then now Rabbani Khan, the Foreign Minister of Pakistan, she is not using hijab. So if the head of the particular Islamic countries are not using hijab, that means hijab is not essential part of religion, but this is a part of culture. Now these days, the people know from some fanatic people, traditional people, they used to say, pehle hijab, फिर किताब, like this. But what we say, पहले किताब और बाद में हिजाब, और हिजाब नहीं रहा तो भी चल सकता है. तो ये जो है ना कि ये जो यहाँ पर शुरू हुआ है कि पोलराइजेशन के लिए और लोगों को टारगेट करने के लिए कुछ बातें आगे आ रही है, और इसके वजह से क्या हो रहा है कि जो रिफॉर्म के पॉइंट्स है, रिफॉर्म के इश्यूज है, उसको ही पॉलिटिकल इश्यूज बनाने के वजह से थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लमेटिक हो रहा है, और कम्युनिटी के अंदर एक तरीके का मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग, इंटॉलरेंस बढ़ते जा रहा है. तो व्हाट आई थिंक, if you are going to school, if dress code is compulsory, you should follow the dress code of that particular institution. That is what it is. So wearing hijab or not wearing hijab is not related with particular basic principles of the religion.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Robert, I think. Atikil? Robert?
Yes, Father Robert.
Atikil.
Mute. Yeah, unmute. You are not unmuted. Tell him to unmute. Please tell him to unmute.
Robert, please unmute yourself.
He can't hear you.
So now we tell him.
Okay, now we can hear you.
Yes, we can't hear you.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
We can't hear you. Unmute. Unmute.
Hello.
Yes, now.
See, I got the information just now. So I said I popped in just to make sure that this takes place, and it's nice to be here with you, listening to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. So, in short, if you want, I want to conclude it. You see that there is a need of understanding true religion. As earlier I told you that Islam means peace, but most of the Islamic countries are living in they are not in peaceful. Islam means non-violence, but maximum Islamic countries are observing violence in their life. For example, तलाक, डिवोर्स, ये अल्लाह के लिए सबसे नापसंद चीज है. अल्लाह के लिए कुरान में भी कहा है कि तलाक सबसे नापसंद है, लेकिन मुल्ला इसको सबसे ज्यादा पसंद कर रहे हैं. तीसरी बात, ऑल आर इक्वल, इक्वालिटी. निजाम और हजाम दोनों एक साथ नमाज पढ़ सकते हैं. What is in masjid is not a reality in market. Now each caste and this caste, in Muslims also there is no casteism, but in existence there is casteism is there. In Islam, ilm means education, the knowledge is given prime importance. Ilm, to read, to understand. But we have seen in Pakistan that young girl Malala was how she was tried to murder. So एक बार कहते हैं कि ये बच्चे जो है तो जो जन्नत जैसी होती है, और वो पेशावर में जिस तरीके से हमला हो गया। अंडरस्टैंडिंग के बारे में मैं श्रीलंका गया था, और श्रीलंका के अंदर कुछ दिन पहले वहां के चर्च में क्रिसमस दिनों में जिस तरीके से अटैक किया था, तो ये जो बातें हैं, दिस आर द इस्लामिक, दिस टाइप ऑफ थिंग्स आर नॉट अन-इस्लामिक. So some vested interests are there, fanatism is there, extremism is there. So it is responsibility of the intellectuals and scholars of the this Muslim community to remove such type of negative things and to highlight liberal ideas in the society. That is very important thing, and these days particularly it's very important. So what is in theory and what is in practice is different. So if you want to show that Islam is the religion of peace, religion of non-violence, this should be a part of your behavior, a part of it should be shown through your conduct, which is not happening. And that is why I think there is a need of understanding of the religion.
Thank you.
The impressions which you are giving are not good.
Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful presentation on Islamic view on the topic, to be religious, to be interreligious. And you have pointed out various aspects, and you are very critical about yourself, your own religion, and looking at a progressive view of looking at the religion as a building for humanity and brotherhood. Our next topic will mean next presentation will be from the point of view of Jainism from next Thursday. I remind you, I will be sending the invitation again. So be there, and we will have a fruitful discussion that time also. Thank you very much. And we will be having now prayer. Before that, short picture of our participant, whoever can put on their cameras. Please put on your cameras. This is for our records. Those who can put on the camera.
Please put on your cameras.
Yes, there are few. They're getting on.
हाँ हाँ एक हाँ शिफ्ट हो गया है। एक मिनट रुको।
Yes.
Thank you very much. 1 second. Yes.
Thank you, and hope to see you all next. Now we have the final praise song.
Praise the Lord. The audio is not there.
We can't hear.
No audio.
No audio. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you and good night. Thank you, Dr. Tamboli, and thank all our viewers, all who participated. God bless. See you all next